there has been the Honorable Finance Minister went at great lengths to talk about where the future investment will go. This gives us a lot of confidence, whether it's in sectors like education, where she talked about upskilling of people, skilling of crores of youth, whether it's policy cover for farmers, loan to farmers, where we talk about food security, whether we talk about India's startup scenario. I see the great to continue the tax benefit that the startups have got so far, whether it is to do with India's Nari Shakti. I think the Honorable Prime Minister has gone at great lengths in the past to explain about that one of the biggest forces is going to be Nari Shakti in the future, and I think we can see that in the budget. The intention of the government is to continue with Nari Shakti reforms and to get more women into the entrepreneurship fold as well as into their professional fold, so that women attain self-independence in terms of their financial security. Overall, I think we are glad to note some of the suggestions of Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry that have been included. We had talked about taxation benefit for startups to continue for one more year, which we see has been included. Then we talked about loans to state government for infrastructure. I think the Honorable Finance Minister has said that that scheme will continue for state governments to pursue their reform process as well as building of infrastructure. We've already seen great infrastructure come up in Goa, whether it's the bridges, the road network. We've got Mopa Airport now. So all this has been actually a beneficiary of the central government's scheme to be continued. And one more thing that we had said was the disputed tax demand, which we are very glad to note that the Honorable Finance Minister has just announced that particularly middle class people and professionals who face tax demands for so many years, and I think she talked about almost 30-40 years that people have faced tax demand. She has now reduced the periods, now smaller amounts, so we welcome that. And I think particularly middle class immensely for so many years litigations in the past. She talked about almost 30-40 years that people have faced tax. One more positive development we've seen, two sectors that she announced that Goa will have a major benefit. One is she talked about the tourism sector, where she talked specifically about two things. One is convention and business conferences. Goa attracts a lot of interest in this, and also spiritual tourism, which I think our own state government has been talking about. And they talked about basically innovative tourism, and she also talked about giving special grants, and she also in the form of loans and other infrastructure facilities, and developing a framework for rating of this. I think this is a great opportunity for Goa's tourism sector as well as the government. Goa is already an international brand, but I think this will give a more fillip to the tourism sector, and I hope that the tourism sector gains from these initiatives. And I think she's also talked about fisheries. I think there has been special scheme for fisheries. We have to read the budget to understand the fine print. But I think fisheries was one more sector that was mentioned. I think a lot of positives, the continuation of the reform process, structural reforms, balanced development, where Goa could probably stand to gain. So all in all, I think we are a bright spot in a very challenging world environment. I think Goa has a unique position in terms of taking advantage of various schemes that she announced. So once again, we welcome the budget, and we hope that the Goan business community at various levels gains from the various initiatives and incentives that she's talked about. Goan, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I think this was an interim budget, so there were always expectations that there would not be any kind of big bang announcements. It was an interim budget, so there was always an expectation there would not be any big bang announcements. But as we are seeing, these are more of policy decisions, and these budgets are becoming more like milestones to complete this kind of policy decisions, as well as to see how this kind of vision can be implemented. As far as taxation is concerned, again, there have been no surprises, which is a very good step. And again, a kind of a benefit has been given for startups for certain taxation things. Again, we are seeing in Goa, especially policy decisions. And these budgets are becoming more like milestones to complete these kind of policy decisions, as well as to see how this kind of a vision can be implemented. As far as taxation is concerned, again, there have been no surprises, which is a very good step. And again, a kind of a benefit has been given for startups for certain taxation things. Again, in Goa, especially, usually there are processing issues. As far as certain return processings are concerned. So sometimes there are those kind of demands which have been coming for a number of years. A small kind of a concession here is again really going to help Goa. So all in all, it's a very good budget.
We also see, where we actually supported in the past was to continue with the GST reforms. And we are seeing, that the depth has widened of, and I think, if you see the collections, whether it is in Goa as well as the rest of the country and in India, the collections have been really, really encouraging. So we hope that the reforms in GST continues, so that the industry continues to benefit and becomes more competitive.
Thank you. This being an election year, we were expecting that there could be some populist measure. But the Honorable Finance Minister has given us an overall picture of last 10 years of Modi Kal and entering into Amrit Kal and what developments have taken place. So actually there has been no need for any populist measure at all, because the benefits have been so much that especially most of the poorer segment has been benefited with various schemes of the government like Annadata, Awas Yojana, Shauchalaya Yojana, Gas Yojana, and all the incentives that were actually meant for the poor class has enhanced their status of living, and I'm sure that they are taking that into consideration and have not gone for any populist measure. But at the same time, this being an interim budget, we expect that there will be another budget which will be placed after the post-elections. But in this budget, the Honorable Finance Minister has promised to continue with the process that has started for last 5 years. Whatever infrastructure building or other incentives, especially in the various segments. In fact, what is more interesting is, there has been an overall development in all the segments, in all the sectors, and that is what has been highlighted by the Honorable Finance Minister. And we are very happy that most of the things are kept, like tax structure is kept as it is, and also some benefits have been given as far as the processings are concerned. And I'm sure this will go a long way in building up the nation first. And secondly, this is actually a step towards the next trillion. So I'm sure we are in for growth and a growth-oriented budget to come. Thank you.
I think this budget has been a very good one. We welcome it. As the President said, we have got a lot of developments which we can see in the infrastructure, and the process has been going on, and the Finance Minister has kept this on this year too. As far as the Nari Shakti, that is, she has laid more stress on Nari Shakti, and I am very happy about it, because for the last so many years we have been doing it, and now we have got we have got that 1/3 seat for the women in Parliament and state assemblies. All this triple talaq has been gone, and over 70% houses under PM is Rozgar Yojana. What happens is women are given more importance, and with the self-help groups coming into coming into this, we have seen that many self-help groups are becoming, they are making the women independent. And 70% of houses into PM Roshgar Yojana in the rural areas for women. And now we have seen that 38%, maybe there is an increase of 38% women in girls who have taken they have come into this, they have 38% increase in the enrollment of women in education. So we see that we are giving a lot of, she's giving a lot of importance, the government is giving a lot of importance to the women, and which is a very good and welcome thing for us. So I think we would like to welcome this budget, and it's a very good one. Thank you very much.
As said by Minister Solver, this budget is a continuation budget, and we hope this budget will bring in more money in people's hand in long term, so that they can utilize for travel purpose. To be specific, in the tourism, I think government is emphasized on the safety of the railways, improvement of the almost 40,000 bogies throughout railway sector. I think it will upgrade the overall railway sector, and it will promote more people to travel, and definitely it will provide growth in tourism industry. Add to that, government has talked about touristic center for 60 places. I think it is a good thing, and I hope Goa is able to take advantage of it. Of course, Goa is a forefront in MICE business, and I hope in the detailed analysis of the budget, there is something specific for MICE tourism, that is meeting incentives, conferences. Add to that, we also have been requesting government on for promotion of inbound tourism. So we hope in the interim budget, with the full-fledged budget, there is some specific in the promotion of inbound tourism into Goa, because that not only brings in the foreign exchange, but it brings in overall growth in all the sectors, and it helps circular economy in big way. As far as infrastructure is concerned, I think as the President just said, I hope Goa government takes advantage of the long-term loan schemes which government of India is providing, and completes the ongoing tourism project which are on. The specific to be, there is a convention center which is coming opposite Paratan Bhavan. I hope we see the completion of it at the earliest. Add to that, the government had announced a bigger convention center at Donapal, so we hope those will see the daylight one of the in the near future, which will help the growth of tourism industry in Goa. Secondly, the scheme wherein they are talking about the connecting between the we have been worked out with in detail. I think Goa also can get benefit in big way. Government has also talked about the growth in aviation sector, which they have doubled from almost 75 airports to 149, and still growth will come in. And what we have been seeing, that Goa, with the MOPA coming in, they were talking about Tier 2 and Tier 3 city connectivity. Goa is already getting more connectivity from Tier 2 and 3 city, which is providing growth, and I hope that continues. Overall, I think we appreciate the efforts of Finance Ministry, and we hope full-fledged budget will have something more to offer to the overall business sector. Thank you.
Yeah, I request C.A. Thomas Chandra, Chair of ICA.
Thank you. Indian Stalwart and President has already explained entire budget. As far as direct taxation is concerned, we are not changing. But the welcome step is that old dues have been, small dues have been waived off. Those will be waived off. We have to look for the final prints. As far as the tone of the Finance Minister and the way it is said, it looks like they are going to continue. So that's the message, that they are going to be there for the next term. That is the reason they must have not looked into the minor changes in direct taxation, like giving some standard deductions or some benefits, because as far as direct tax is concerned, there is an entire year, so in the full-fledged budget, they can take care of all the changes. as far as Goa is concerned, there are two major announcements on fisheries and tourism and specific. There are certain issues which you have taken up with the department also. Hope they take care of those issues, and we welcome this project. Thank you very much.